got a bot. Oh, this looks old. How old is this?
No, we just sold it. Definitely got some.
Oh, but I mean, like, it looks like just an older piece.
The mic is like right in front of your face.
Yeah, I know. I'll be up here, don't worry.
Okay. Oh, I think we're live. Unmute ourselves.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I hope everyone can hear us. If anyone can hear us.
Yeah, I mean,
Testing.
we'll find out.
Yeah.
You want me to check? I can check.
But all right. It has been a long, crazy week.
It's just me. It's just
and,
me. Don't worry.
Man.
It's been a week, man.
Long, crazy week, and one of the hottest weeks we've had recently.
Yeah, I think it's been the hottest week of the summer.
Awful. Just awful. And it wasn't even like hot. It was just
humid. Muggy, humid.
Humid.
I cut the grass yesterday, and I was just sweated through everything.
Yeah. This entire week, like, because obviously the warehouse has no circulation or anything like that. Literally dying. And, you know, we had just come off our 100th auction show episode.
I was gonna say.
Which was incredible. Thank you all so much for tuning into that. It was pretty awesome. But unfortunately, I didn't have, because of the humidity, it literally wiped, was not able to ship out as much as I wanted. Most of all the auction show stuff that has been paid is going out tomorrow. And then some new releases also came in that we were getting out. And the Super 7 Rose Biollante and Godzilla 89 finally came in. And I'm going to try to get out as many of those as I can, because I think there's almost like 100 orders for those.
Whoa.
So
between the two, or just like each?
Kind of two. Most people got them as a set.
Oh, okay. That's good. Makes it easy, I guess, right?
But, yeah, I'm going to try to get out like 10 a day. But, so that just came in. That's crazy. But this week has been nuts for Kaiju fans. So if you're first time ever tuning into the Square Table, basically we're just going to go all out on some nerd stuff.
I'm ready.
This week, man, we had the new Godzilla Minus One trailer. We've had the Legacy of Monsters trailer, Monarch, continuing the Monsterverse, going back to, I mean, we're seeing characters from Skull Island. We'll get into that. We're not talking about it tonight, but Gamera Rebirth also came out on Netflix this week as well.
Yes, neither one of us have really had a chance to sit down.
Yet. There's been no time. Watch it. I've been trying to box up as much stuff as I can for our fantastic customers out there. And then, you know, dad stuff, all that kind of.
As always.
Yeah,
I was actually late tonight because my daughter was screaming that she wanted me to put her to bed. So I was like, well, can't abandon my child now, can I?
Yeah, no, pretty much. That's kind of how, yeah, you have no choice.
Nerd dad life. That's really what it is.
CCS is the Tokyo Tower. Actually, this was one of the items that was bid on and won. This will be getting packed up tomorrow morning and out to, I believe, Steve Z was the lucky winner of this.
According to your Epic file system.
Is this Steve Z?
It is Steve Z.
Look at that. I don't even need the file system. I just remember off the top of my head.
Your Epic file system that is posted to the table here.
Hey, that's Dad's system. I don't mess with it. All right.
Listen, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. And then Ahsoka has been.
Oof. We'll get into that.
One Piece is.
That's
gonna,
all me.
That's all me. Be the Evandro segment.
That's
I
all
have
me.
not had a chance to watch it at all.
Oh man, it's so good. But we'll get into it.
But all right, let's dive.
Let's deep dive. Deep. Real deep.
So
some would say balls deep.
All right, so let's get right into.
So we're gonna watch the trailer.
I don't know if this will get to you. I hope so.
This is already
I
epic.
go back in time and fix all the mistakes I made.
Dude, I love it so
Maybe I
much.
could leave something for the future.
Love it.
It's the scene from 14. Let's go. John Goodman's coming back.
Do it.
The world is on fire. I decided to do something about
It's
it.
Kurt Russell, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, you can't go wrong.
Hopes, dreams.
South Park had it right, man.
Ambitions.
Just send Kurt Russell.
The
And
mission
everything
was to
makes it
protect
okay.
Their world and ours. That's what we want. Monarch.
I know you love
Orange
it.
suits, let's go.
I know you love it.
Instead of chasing monsters.
I wish my airport had that.
If you come with
I
me,
wish.
you'll
I wonder
know
if the
everything
Japanese
I promised.
airport would ever actually like put it in like the Tokyo airport.
Yes.
So good.
All right.
So good. So good.
A lot of things here to talk about.
Just to answer CC real quick, the live action One Piece is on Netflix. It's 8 episodes.
Yes.
Go check it out.
It's only 8 episodes?
It's only 8 episodes.
Well, they're what, over an hour?
yeah,
They're kind of
just
range
about-
around, right?
Just about an hour. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some goodness of this. One, I like the
My
fact,
man.
Yeah, John Goodman coming back, because if you're not familiar with what's happening in this series, basically it's following Kurt Russell, I guess, throughout his entire career at Monarch. His son is playing the younger
The younger
version
version
of
of him.
So we're basically going to be seeing Godzilla from his inception from the 50s all the way to, I guess 2014 timeline is where it
I
gets
wonder if they will touch on Skull Island because that's where
Well,
that's where John Goodman is from.
I mean,
yeah, that's where his character
his
comes from.
Character's all about Skull Island.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's what we're getting a lot of, which we see a couple different monsters in here. But one of the things that I love about this potential of seeing Goodman come back, obviously, because I just love John Goodman.
I know.
So like
Who
again,
doesn't?
now I got John Goodman and Kurt Russell in one fucking kaiju show. Like, I don't know. It's
I mean, Kurt Russell could do no wrong, man.
we eating good.
Yeah,
We're eating
yeah.
good.
It's a good time to be alive.
But what's really awesome about this, because again, this is only going up to the points of 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're bringing him back,
Mm-hmm.
there's a good chance, ladies and gentlemen, Bryan Cranston could
Ooh.
come back. And not
Ooh.
only Ken Watanabe as Serizawa could be in this show.
What a perfect casting.
So now
that
you would
character.
have, I mean, I don't even know what Kurt Russell's character does. Or how, it doesn't matter. I already love his character. It's Kurt
Yeah.
Russell.
They do.
So if
The
you
article
had-
that I read mentions his name, but I
Yes,
can't even think about it right now.
as well. But could you imagine if we get any cameos from those two coming
I
back? Because now you would have.
Don't even know what to do with myself.
Yeah, because now you would have the best actual characters from the Godzilla verse. Because Goodman was one of my favorite characters from Skull Island. But again, it's really hard to continue anything with them when the guy's dead.
Yeah. So that was. I read something about Bryan Cranston and his role in the movie where he when they like killed him off, they're like, yeah, I don't really know why they did that.
Yeah.
He's like, I really love doing it,
Yeah,
and I
he was
really
like,
wanted
I'm
to
a-
do more.
Yeah, he was like, I'm a Godzilla fan. Why?
So why
Yeah.
bring me back, please? And honestly, Wyatt Russell, ugh, I love it.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Like you can't get a better casting.
Just trying to,
There he is,
obviously,
the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's see. What's another good shot here?
You don't really see any monster shots. They're like there's barely
Well,
anything.
one
Well,
again,
I mean,
I love the callback to 14 here because that's one of the archive footage.
yeah.
So we're getting that.
A legacy.
The world is on
So
fire.
now
That's
here's
from 14.
that's what I'm saying. Is that like are they
something
like picking up after 14 or
No. This is going up to 14.
up to 14?
Yeah. Like I'm pretty sure like this is not Godzilla King of the Monsters won't be referenced in here.
Yeah, okay. So, but like, is it taking place before the movie or after the movie?
I think it's all
like
in
in
between.
the middle of the movie.
Yeah, I think
okay.
basically it's because obviously we're getting the three. We're going back to the 50s, so
Yeah.
this is going to be plugging in. I think all the different origins of discovering that there's giant creatures.
And obviously,
Godzilla.
Monarch's evolution
Yes,
of as
which
what they are.
It's just great, and I
dreams,
don't know whose family that is.
ambitions. The mission was to protect their.
Imagine that guy
We
is
have
like
some kind of
that's a
Rodan
plane.
creature, but what's
Oh, no.
really cool, he's got like a destroyer tail. I mean,
Oh.
and there's
So
not-
what do you think that references? You think it's just a new creature?
Yeah, that's a
or
new creature. I think that's just like a.
or maybe a modification of an old creature?
I think it's.
You think it's brand new?
I think it's just new.
You think it's brand new? All right.
And ours.
Well, what were the creatures called from 14 that he fights?
I can't talk about this. The Mutus.
The Mutus, yeah. So those were new, right? Those
Yes,
weren't
those are
like,
new, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it is a new monster.
So the fact that like Monarch's going back and is
Bring up that picture.
oh yeah, I could bring that picture up.
Bring that picture up.
Let me do that right now. One.
It's a great comparison picture, to be honest. Like,
Yeah. So like,
that is like
I mean, this is a total reference to Invasion of the Astro Monster or Godzilla vs. Monster Zero, whatever title you want to go with.
really multiple title movie, huh?
Of course. Well, I mean, because that's like half the Godzilla movies are. So this kind of callback to me, like, is just incredible. So
Leslie
can't love
says
this
the
more.
fact that a lot of fans are speculating that winged ring creature is Gaios just proves that Thanos was actually right after all.
Yeah, there's no way that's Gauss. What's up, Leslie? How we doing, man? But just
This callback is great.
no. This is
I love when they do callbacks
this
like
is
this.
incredible. This is for me one of the biggest things that caught my eye. Was like, holy crap! Like,
So
'cause that's-
you noticed this right off the bat?
yeah.
I mean,
One Monster Zero is like basically top 3 movie for me.
so
and,
okay,
like-
it's not Godzilla 2000, right?
No. Which speaking of Godzilla 2000, they're going to re-release that in theaters. So I almost want to. I think,
Dude, let's do it.
I think we have to go.
We have to go.
and I have to relive my nightmare and see if it plays out how it did when I was a kid.
Listen, it might be better than you think it is.
Yeah,
When was
maybe-
the last time you saw it? When you were a kid? Or you watched it like more recently throughout the years?
I haven't watched it in the last like 10 years.
So you watched it more than 10 years ago?
Yeah.
So you've watched it more than once since it was released.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've definitely seen it at least like 5 times.
Okay. And it's still bad every time?
It's horrendous. But maybe this movie theater experience will change that because again, that was kind of the thing that made me hate it. But was because everyone was laughing at how ridiculous the movie was when I saw it. There's only like 10 of us in the movie theater. But as a kid, it traumatized you.
I mean, it'll probably be like 15 of us in the movie theater
I
this
hope
time.
one of these dudes behind him is his name's Glenn because that'd be another incredible callback. I believe. So, but we can't get too crazy.
No, can't get too crazy.
But this is definitely one of my favorite Easter eggs here. But there are plenty more.
I love the actual, like, just the aesthetic of the show, how some of it is lighter, some of it is darker.
Yes,
like, it looks really, really good. Like,
It's Apple
just in
TV, man. I when they first announced that this show was going to be on Apple TV, and there was Godzilla fandom's weird, man. Fans like, I don't have Apple TV, I can never watch it.
Oh my god!
But
stop.
I don't want another app. Apple TV,
Guys, this
literally-
is the way of the future. It's gonna be streaming apps
I don't even
everywhere.
care about that. Streaming apps, like whatever.
But Apple TV, yes,
is ridiculous.
Yeah, their pedigree right now is really high.
They don't miss. Like again,
I mean, Erica's been watching that like news TV show with Jennifer
yes.
Aniston and
It's
Reese Witherspoon. She says it's
fantastic.
incredible.
Yeah.
We've talked about Shrinking. We've talked about, of course, Ted Lasso. Like, Apple TV has not missed.
No.
At least anything that I've watched so far. There's a lot on there, but they haven't missed yet.
No, it's either like the show is it might just not be for you.
Exactly.
But whatever it is, the quality and production of it is like top notch.
I am curious, and now we're talking like from a financial standpoint. Like, is Apple making money on this?
I don't have my phone.
No, you don't.
Oh.
Is Apple making money on this, or are they losing any money? Like, Netflix has always talked about like how their, proprietary shows, some of them don't do well, but I feel like Netflix at this point is so oversaturated with everything that they're putting through that it's just.
I honestly I don't know much about that.
Well, because we've watched a bunch of Netflix original series and things like that. Some have been good, some have been horrendous. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the I don't want to jump.
Cowboy
I don't want to jump into One Piece right away. But
no, we'll discuss that. But and that's the whole thing. They either knock it out of the park. With Netflix, or they shit the bed completely.
Yeah. So for anyone that was on the fence about Apple TV,
get it.
Definitely get it.
Highly recommend.
And again, I mean, I think the show's only 8 episodes, so you're only going to need it for 2 months. Or just wait till the entire show is over and somehow
do a free 7-day free trial.
Yeah, somehow not catch any spoilers. But if you're watching this show, you're most likely in the Kaiju Live group and other groups around. Good luck avoiding 8
episodes worth of spoilers.
And then watching it.
I'm going to be honest, we're not going to wait to not talk about it.
Instead of chasing.
I love that.
So yeah, Godzilla evacuation route. Now, I mean, what is that? The sign might as well just say like, "You're fucked."
Just run this way. It's okay, and hug your kids, type of thing. Like, it'll be fine.
You'll see your father soon. What a callback to 54.
Oh man, imagine that scene is in there.
Like, imagine going on the airport or anything, and you're just like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, who? What?
So that I want the sign in my house somewhere, but at the same time, I just thought that was kind of like a silly thing.
You just buy that sign, put it up on the wall.
This is incredible.
I love when he comes out of the water.
They're gonna be showing us more of this scene.
What island do you think this is? Because it's definitely not like...
It's not Skull Island.
I don't think it's Skull Island either.
But I forget where the original test footage was in the movie 14.
Mm-hmm.
But that test footage was him coming up to the island and they bomb him.
Yeah.
So this is... We're finally going to see I guess we're going to see the entire...
Going to see what happens in that entire scene.
So this is him swimming up, which is just... I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna be one of those nitpicky fans right here. What is he, like 30 feet off? I mean, he should be. He should be a little higher.
Come on, man. You don't know. You don't know how shallow that water is.
King of the Monster trailer came out. You know that scene where he's like roar. He blows the fire up. Yeah. But he's in the middle of the ocean, and people are like, well, like how deep is it? How deep is it? Like, is he?
Well, that was always like. Remember at the end of Kong versus Godzilla, the original, like they're fighting in the water. They both go under the water, and then Kong just like stands up, and the water's like waist high. I'm like, yo, Godzilla can't swim.
Yeah,
bro.
Don't remind me.
If you come with me,
so that's
you'll
gonna
know
be
everything. I promise.
Okay.
Oh, can we go back to that monster?
I'm gonna try.
Let's see if we can jump back to it.
All right. So now we got.
There's a big ass spider, is what that is.
So this it looks like there's 2 of them, honestly.
No, I think those are. Is that another monster, or is it bones?
I think
like,
I think it's 2 monsters.
You think it's 2 monsters? It could be. I'm not doubting it.
Like this might be the crab that we just saw in the Skull Island anime.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Again, I'm gonna assume a lot of the flashbacks in this show are going to be
jumping
between Monarch stuff with Godzilla and maybe some Hollow Earth stuff, and then Skull Island. Because Goodman's entire character is trying to find Skull Island.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, maybe this island's that other island that was in the anime.
Yeah. I forget what they... I don't even think they called it anything, did they?
I think it had a name. So it looks like we got 2, like, Crustaceous, or that could be a giant spider.
Is there a giant spider in the Monsterverse? Yeah?
Yeah. They introduced him in King of the Monsters. I think it's Skrilla,
Mhm.
and then also if you want to go Toho, it's Kumonga or Spiga. Whatever.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some generic giant spider. So we got the crab. Crab's callback to Ibra or anything like that. John Goodman's running
So
for his
like
life.
that scene where he's running, you think that's on Skull Island or like on this island?
I think it's this
I
new island.
I really hope they don't just put like footage from Skull Island in here. Like just like instead of making it like a new scene and new dialogue.
I think you'll get some, but no, it looks like because the impression that I get from Skull Island is Goodman is trying to get to Skull Island. He knows it exists, but he can't get there.
Yeah.
So none of that footage should be him on Skull Island. This has to be him
somewhere else.
like basically I'm guessing this is going to be a lot of the islands that kind of bring you that data that like, yo, it's all coming from that spot.
Yeah. I hope so. I think I mean cuz in the movie he's, you know, he goes to get the funding to try to get everybody to go there, blah blah blah, all these things. And you don't really know why he gets that way. Like you don't know his motivations other than like he needs to prove that monsters like exist.
Yeah.
Maybe we find out why he gets that motivation. Like why his character has that motivation to do so.
Well, I mean, judging by the trees that he's running through and the trees that we see Godzilla going towards, it looks like he's on that island.
Yeah.
So whatever's drawing Godzilla to that island, whether it's that atomic bomb or whatnot,
or like another monster, as usual, because
that's Godzilla's thing. He's all about bringing balance. So that could play into, again, Skull Island. Skull Island's supposed to be like the Hollow Earth,
like entrance
peeking through.
Yeah, like the tip.
Yeah. So what might get Godzilla's attention is just that monsters are escaping from that, and he's like, no, don't do this.
No.
That's not how it is. Like this guy, he's like, no.
Yeah.
Leslie
says he likes how Skull Island is referenced, and he's kind of hoping that Kong makes an appearance. He says he doubts it.
I don't think he'll make it. I think he'll be talked about.
Yeah. I think so.
But again, maybe not, because... Well, no. If they're going to go all the way... Yeah, if they're going to flash forward to 14...
Yeah.
Then obviously they know Kong exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because Skull Island takes place during Vietnam,
before.
so they definitely know Kong exists.
Yeah,
and
so we'll probably see skull crawlers, and
I doubt him and Godzilla will have an interaction though.
See, like this clearly isn't Skull Island.
No, but a ship is there, so it's definitely a different island.
So this is most likely this island that Godzilla is coming towards, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
then I think those shots are all 14.
This is absolutely 14. This is the Golden State Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the one in San
Golden Gate Bridge.
Golden Gate.
Jesus,
what did I say?
Golden State Warriors.
The Golden State
Gate
Warriors,
Bridge.
Yeah. So I guess she was one of the lucky children who got to see Godzilla up close and personal in front of the bridge.
Oh, there it is. It's terrifying. It's a great shot, though.
It's not terrible.
It's amazing.
If that was me, I'd be like, "What a way to die! This is it. There could not be."
That was it.
A better way.
That's it. What a way to die. That's it. Like, that's how you're gonna go.
Futurama.
It's
a cool way to die.
It's a cool way to die.
But yeah, I can't. This is everything that I wanted it to be, from the tone, because it looks like we're getting back to the Skull Island and 14 tone, where it's much more serious. Not that I don't love Godzilla vs. Kong and stuff, but
do you really dislike King of Monsters that much?
King of the Monsters, there's so much I love about it, but as a movie,
it's pretty weak.
Don't really enjoy it as a movie.
Yeah,
I enjoy it because the soundtrack is
phenomenal.
Yeah,
I mean, you get that beautiful cover of Godzilla.
Just everything about it. You get the Mothra theme. I mean, you get Godzilla's. This is the first time you actually heard Godzilla's real theme in the movie, because it's not in 14. Mm-hmm. It's also not in Godzilla vs. Kong, because for whatever reason they didn't bring him back.
No, we're not going to do this.
No, they just didn't bring that composer back, which is ridiculous. So King of the Monsters hits a lot of beats for me, but as a movie, it just doesn't do much for me.
Oscar, we agree with you. Definitely love seeing the 2014 design come back.
Yes.
For
Kaiju Live, customers. I know the Spyro Studio G14 just dropped. I will have it in the store tomorrow morning. I know it came out like 2 or 3 days ago. Like I said, it's been a crazy week, and I just have not had the time to even put it in the store. So for people that are waiting for this, which was actually cool, like they dropped it and then this trailer dropped. It's almost as if they knew something.
Did they know?
Yes, did they know?
Did they know?
So it comes in a standard and a heat ray version, which is pretty cool. And I really like the heat ray version on this one because it's true to the movie, where in 14 all of his fins don't light up. It's only his like middle row.
Oh yeah.
So like that's how they painted it.
Yeah. I gotta watch 14 again. I haven't watched it in a while.
And let's see, is there anything else to this, or is that the? No, we just got
it's just the Apple TV. November 17th. Mark your calendars.
But yeah.
No, this is definitely an exciting thing. I like it too because I'm appreciating more of longer format, like content.
Like, any spoilers we can see here? No, everything's literally blocked.
Everything's literally redacted.
Dr. Blank, Dr. Blank, blank.
Everything is completely redacted. It's great. It's like looking at real government documents.
What were you saying about longer formats?
So I like longer format. Like everything that they're trying to do, rather than make like movies about like stuff, like shows or things like that. Like I think a longer format telling like this. I mean, there's never been like a serious Godzilla series like this come out before, right?
No,
other than like the cartoon.
Yeah, when they first dropped that it was going to be on Apple TV, I was probably one of the only guys that was like, yes, because again, like Apple TV's putting out quality stuff, so like you're not going to get.
Well, I hope this lives up to your expectations.
Honestly, from the trailer, it's going to be really hard. Like I can't really see where it's going to fall.
Here's
flat.
the problem I have with trailers. Okay, and then we'll talk. Well, this is a good.
If this trailer showed us everything we're getting, I mean, I'm still.
This
very
is a
happy.
good segue into Ahsoka, because trailers lately have just been like, well, here's the movie, or here's the show, like here's all the great stuff.
I love this.
I know.
Just seeing
the little spikes come out of the back.
Yeah, could you imagine being on the beach and being like,
yeah, I'm getting a tan. Are you seeing that? Is
that fucking Godzilla?
That's really. That's your first instinct? Is that Godzilla? What if you didn't know about Godzilla then?
Nah, I always knew.
You always knew. That's it. You were born knowing.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, but trailers sometimes like reveal too much, often enough, and like I find so the cool thing is that the Ahsoka trailer, the last Ahsoka trailer that came out, we've already seen everything that's going to be in it except for like literally 3 seconds of the next 4 episodes. So everything is going to be new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
exciting. I mean, you know, stuff like that. Like, I appreciate that. Like, I don't want all the good stuff to be in the trailer.
I still can't believe that this was the other Captain America. I did not realize
You didn't realize that?
Until you pointed it out. No. You're like, you've seen him before. I'm like, no, I haven't. You're
yes,
like,
you have.
You have.
100%.
The other Captain America. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right.
And he was awesome in that. Like, he's a good actor. He's definitely got acting chops.
Yeah.
And, you know, working side by side with his dad must have been, like, cool.
That is... I just love that they did this.
Yeah.
Like,
his dad was like, hey, just play a younger me.
Yeah.
Yeah, just play a younger me. It'll be great.
But, yeah, like, again, imagine...
Leslie says you are incorrect about the spikes on the water. He says that would be the shark from Jaws 2. I don't know how Jaws 2 always gets brought up on this show.
I've never considered banning Leslie before, but, you know, I'm getting close. I'm getting real close.
Getting real close.
I want to go back and I want to like CG. I'm just gonna like redo Jaws 2 and just put Godzilla in it.
Just put Godzilla in it. And just Godzilla the whole time.
Just,
you know, Photoshop him in like really bad CGI.
But
oh man,
yeah, I can't. This show I think is going to. I think this is going to be one of those shows that really ties the Monsterverse into a perfect knot.
Oh yeah,
brings everything that's kind of happened more together.
I hope it really functions that way. Not only is it going to function that way, but it's also going to be a good show. Because sometimes when you make something to do a function, it does the function, but then it's like that's all it does. It doesn't do anything else. I think this, based on everything we've seen so far, I can't wait for more trailers to drop.
So I think what's going to happen with this show is this show if it ends on like some kind of cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Because maybe now they want to bridge the gap. They start going that Star Wars route, kind of. We're like, all right, let's bridge the gap between 14 and King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
Which is the comic book where that actually shows how he gets his new dorsal plates, and it's because Mutu Prime, which is like the king shit gigantic one, destroys his back.
Yeah.
So they have to like regrow.
I like that. I like that tool. It doesn't always have to be a sequel, because you can always create stories in between other stuff.
Like the universe, the Monsterverse is huge. So the fact that they're, that might be as much Godzilla shit as we even see.
Yeah.
Honestly, like they might have showed us 90% of the Godzilla stuff. I wouldn't be shocked if there's like a finale kind of fight between him and something. What we got going on in the chat?
You got Zombie Noob saying, "Nah, they were probably hyped about it," and we're like, "Yo, let's do a Godzilla show together and just hang out."
Probably. I mean, that's what I would be like. That.
Imagine your dad being like, "Yo, let's do a Godzilla show together."
Like,
wait, you already do.
Yeah. Again, gotta get this for the house. It's gonna be my new.
Just put it up in the entrance.
It's gonna be our welcome mat. Yeah.
But it's that big.
Yeah.
It's just gigantic. Kelly's like, I'm not going to vacuum this.
So what, Chad, any
Leslie
questions?
says, do you think the show will probably make any references to the setup Godzilla Kong, the new empire, knowing the film is coming in the next 6 months?
I don't think so, other than like hints about more of Kong's species.
Yeah. Well, Kong's species is referenced in Skull Island.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
He's the baby there.
They might bring up stuff like that, but again, I don't know, because if this doesn't go past 14, I don't think anyone or Monarch has actually gone into the Hollow Earth. I'm pretty sure the first time was in Godzilla vs. Kong.
I don't know.
So
it'd be cool. I think anything they do at this point, you really have to work hard at this point to make it bad.
Yeah.
You have so much source material to work with. Like, just forget everything old. Just any of the new Godzilla stuff. Like, you have so much source material to work with that you can really like expand on a lot of that.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be exciting. This will be one of probably.
Oscar says Mutu Prime just gave me one Mutu Prime.
I mean, it's a real possibility that that's what they might be trying to set up, is like bringing that other character in. Another, prime time monster for Godzilla to fight.
It's exciting. Cool. I like this whole like expanding on stories in between the bigger stuff.
Yeah.
Like Mandalorian does it perfectly. Ahsoka does it well. Andor does it well. Like, I loved Andor because like that's a story that they made this character for Rogue One. He was very well liked, and they're like, what's his motivation? Like, where does he come from? Like, why is he doing this?
Yeah.
Ahsoka, on the other hand, has always had, because if you watch Clone Wars and Rebels, like, she has so much depth. And going into, like, we're just gonna watch it again.
If you come with me,
you can talk over it, yeah. I wanted to get on a Godzilla shot.
There it is.
Yeah, we can just put it on that.
Because Ahsoka's got so much like her evolution from the first season of Clone Wars, where she is a kid, and I've talked about it before, where like she sucked. I hated her. She was so annoying. She whined a lot. And then seeing her now in this show, not only like, just forget it's live action, just seeing how the characters evolved from that to this, you actually see this character grow up and evolve and change their motivations and really question their existence, essentially. And that's a really like deep thing that a lot of like is great, because like sometimes you just never get that. Yeah. You just get the movies, you get the shows, and you end up with these characters that you're like, oh, that was a cool character, and then nothing happens with them.
Well, that's why I'm excited that like there's potential that they could bring Bryan Cranston back, and they could bring Ken Watanabe back for cameos and stuff like that.
Bring back Ken Watanabe. Ken Watanabe is just great and everything.
Yeah. Or I forget what's the actress's name? She was basically like Sarah Zhao.
Millie Bobby Brown?
No, Sarah Zhao was like right hand
Oh, I'm not sure.
The other scientist, I forget what her name was, but she was from The Shape of Water.
Mm-hmm.
Bring her character back. The character. It's funny. Like all the characters that the Monsterverse has that people like are all dead. So
That's saying a lot.
yeah, like all the world building characters that they have are pretty much all dead. Although it would be very interesting seeing it.
Fun fact that I just noticed.
What do you got?
The director of 2014 is the same director of Star Wars Rogue One, Gareth Edwards.
Yes,
I did not know this.
Yes. Yeah, man.
He's also in Rogue One. He's the guy. He's the guy that hands the plans through the door, and Vader just kills him.
I mean, that's a good claim to fame.
I mean, I'll take it.
But I'm definitely really excited about this show. I will say because I'm a sucker for like really good dialogue and world building, I'm expecting this to be more of a just that kind of show.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of world building and slow burns and all that stuff, where my expectations of monster stuff is very low.
You think this is going to be more of a human story, like where you see a lot more of?
I think
and world building, like
you're
going
to be following Kurt Russell, and they're going to be building that world throughout his entire life, getting to whatever the conclusion of. I guess I'm going to guess the big finale is going to be Godzilla in San Fran.
Okay,
or maybe not, because there is that shot.
There is that shot of San Francisco already destroyed.
Yeah, so it might go a little bit past 14.
Well, so that's what I was thinking. Like it might just expand past 14. Like I'm curious to like really see like the more finer detail of what happened after 14 showed up. But yeah, no, I'm excited for this. I think it'll be good. You watching?
Oh, sorry. Do you want?
We can go into whichever one you'd like, bud.
Well, up to you.
Well, let's go into Ahsoka. We've been talking about Ahsoka now.
Oh, okay.
Let's do it. Let's run it. For those that haven't watched the first 4 episodes of Ahsoka, the show on Disney Plus has been out. They have been that slow burn, but in a good way. There's a lot of good stuff that's been happening. I gotta say, like, it keeps you tense throughout each of the episodes, where like you're kind of waiting for the next thing to come through. But it's been really good. Really
Leslie brings up. I'm sorry to.
No, go ahead.
Leslie brings up no Brie Larson. That's right. You could actually bring like Loki back.
Bring her back.
Loki back. Who
Tom Hiddleston.
I love this character too.
He'd be so much older though in 14. Like his character.
No, but like you can.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like,
yeah, I would say it
because they remember at the end of Skull Island they were in a debriefing room, so like you can go into that.
Maybe that's a surprise.
Extra stuff.
Maybe that's the surprise for it.
So basically, like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Kinda, yeah. Basically, like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but not CW quality like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. pretty much was. Like Apple TV version of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would have been phenomenal.
It's funny because like I feel like this is the new evolution of primetime television. Like there's no more like 8 o'clock at night, gotta get on like channel 11 and watch something.
But so as someone that has been watching all of the Star Wars stuff, because I have not.
Yes,
I've dabbled
watched all of it.
in all of the animated stuff, but never.
I mean, I got deep dives everywhere, man.
Hold on, Kelly asked me if I want something.
I hope it's food.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, I've watched it all.
So as someone that has literally watched this character from start to not finish, but
start to current.
Like, what is your take on what Dave Filoni has brought
to live action in general?
Yeah, like just what he's done for this franchise and almost resurrected it.
I love his casting choices. First off, I think his live action casting choices have been great. Seeing Rosario Dawson, and I've seen her in many things, obviously. Seeing Rosario Dawson in this being much more serious and much more stoic is odd. I think because she's very like she's very emotionless with the character, and I think that actually is a good thing, because it shows how jaded really Ahsoka has really become, and how she's very just focused on what she needs to do. Because in every other iteration of her, she's been emotional. Like, she really can't keep her emotions in check. Her leaving the Jedi Order was an emotional decision. And then her just basically wandering the world.
Yeah, she's more of a I've seen things.
Yeah, and I think because if like you really go, because I've read her book, like it really goes into like the deeper part. Like the book focuses on what happens to her after she leaves the temple, and really after Clone Wars, and she, you discover she's had relationships, like she's really like had emotional connections with people, and they've never ended well. So it's always been like. Now I feel like this is like the iteration of her where she's just like, I've closed off my emotions and now I need to focus on what needs to get done. She's, the whole premise of this is she's trying to prevent Thrawn from coming back and basically inheriting the Empire. Because at this point in the story, the Empire is basically leaderless and it's dealing with warlords instead of leaders, and there's a lot of infighting and
for the Empire.
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious to see when. So the thing that bothers me is you have all this good content, right? And you have all these great stories, and they're happening in between the original trilogy and Force Awakens. And I would love to see more of an expansion past Force Awakens that's good, rather than the 2 movies that we got after Force Awakens, which are not great. So, because I would love to see Thrawn evolved. Like, I would love to see Thrawn. Like, I'm curious to know where they go with this character and where, like, what happens to Thrawn. Like, why, other than obviously he's gone, like, what happens to him? Where does he go after Ahsoka? So that's really what's keeping me in, especially because I've read all the Thrawn books, and which gives so much depth to that character. And he is really like one of the most beloved, I say quote unquote, beloved characters that most hardcore Star Wars fans have always looked forward to seeing. Because he's been around for decades. And when Filoni decided in Rebels, hey, let me show you guys something.
Yeah.
Here's Thrawn, and here's how cool he is. Because the funny part is even in Rebels, like, he's a villain, but he's not. His motivations are never villainous. They're just focused. Like, he's not cruel. He's not, like, demented. He's not insane.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Basically, yeah. Like, his motivations are just to duty, essentially.
So you're saying he's a lot like this guy.
So, this character I love,
guy,
because you're now introducing...
This has become my favorite character.
Because... he's not a Sith. He's not.
Well, he's very much just like Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Like, she's not a Jedi.
Yeah. She's not they're neither of them are Jedis at this point. They're just
on opposite sides. That's
exactly.
it.
And that's basically what his character implies when he communicates with Ahsoka. And he's just like, it's a shame like it had to happen this way. Like,
I love every scene with him and Morgan.
Yeah.
Because she always questions something from him, and his answers are just perfect.
Yeah.
When she was like, is that a sign of sympathy that I hear in your voice? And he's like, no, just experience. Yeah. Or no, just truth, when he was talking about it'd be a shame to kill her.
Yeah.
And then the other time when she brought up again, like, do I detect fear?
Yeah.
And when he was like, yo, we better get this going.
Yeah, he goes, no, like, just experience.
Yeah, it's just like, and he's even keel about it. He just knows what's up.
And that I love, because you're not seeing, like, it's not your typical, like, oh, here's another Sith Lord.
He's not a rage monster.
No,
the dark side.
He's completely and utterly calculating. He has everything in mind. You don't even really know what his motivations are.
He just wants power.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, yeah, he knows if Thrawn comes back, the Emperor's probably gonna win.
Yeah,
and he's gonna be
wow,
a boss.
Yeah,
like, and that's all he wants. He's just like, I just want to be the boss.
But even then, it's like he doesn't really care if the Empire comes back or not. He's not about it. He just.
I mean, I think what he said to Ahsoka was like he believes in the simple truth that in order to create, you must destroy. Yeah. So I think he believes the world is broken and must be rebuilt.
Yep.
And Thrawn is the dude to do that. So he's like, all right,
And you know when he says that, you believe it. Like you
he's...
for anybody that has never watched Rebels, like forget ever seeing Rebels. All you know right now is that this mystery man, Thrawn, is what all these people are trying to achieve and trying to, bring back. Because at the end of Rebels, so what happens at the end of Rebels, spoiler alert if anybody's watching, Thrawn and Ezra end up on a Star Destroyer fighting each other. And Ezra, throughout the series, befriends these, which you see in the show, when they're flying through the fog, you see the giant space whales.
Mm.
They can travel through hyperspace by themselves.
Yeah, it's a different galaxy.
They could just travel through hyperspace. You don't even know how far they could fly, but your assumption is different galaxies. And Ezra is able to talk to animals, which is a rare feat within the Force. Like, not everybody can do it, but he can communicate with animals through the Force. And he was able to do that with these creatures. And he basically asks them, like, take us as far away as you can without actually saying anything. And it's, like, really, like, emotional when it happens because Sabine is like Ezra's like, I leave basically my mantle to you. And then they just disappear.
Yeah. And
you don't really know what happens. My issue is like, who made the map? Who decided that that's where Thrawn is? Like, that's when you start to get into the cool stuff. When you get into the
witches, and
the sisters or the witches of Dathomir, and you get into like okay, well, how do they know? Like, I'm curious to how all this connects.
The Zombie News says, honestly, Star Wars has me bored. I personally want new stories and new characters and make them more personal and not as grand.
I think Ahsoka is achieving part of that, but I get what you're saying. New characters. I think it's on its way. I think it's on its way. I mean, they tried making new characters in the new trilogy, and honestly, Rey and Poe were really the only ones I actually enjoyed.
Wait, you enjoyed Rey?
In the beginning in Force Awakens, she was good. Because it's still that, like...
We can't... All right.
Go ahead.
I understand Star Wars is your baby. But we can't keep using The Force Awakens to somehow...
It's the only one.
To somehow, like...
It's the only one. It's the only one.
It can't just be keep used as like the scapegoat of like, well, the trilogy's not that bad.
No, the trilogy's
Force
bad.
Awakens is good.
The trilogy as a whole is bad.
Like,
it's not great.
It's garbage.
The trilogy as a whole is great.
The Force Awakens, it's just
I'll still keep saying it, man.
It's just
I
like
will die on this hill.
It's just like Jurassic World. It hits all the right notes. It brings you back. And like, so for that, it's really good. But if none of that, if you had none of those attachments to anything, Force Awakens is literally almost like, it's almost like when they remade Psycho and it was a shot-for-shot remake of the original
Vince Vaughn, you talking about?
Like it's a shot-for-shot.
First of all, Vince Vaughn as a casting choice was terrible.
I disagree.
No, awful.
Vince Vaughn's fantastic.
Stop. Stick to comedies, my man.
Well, speaking, I mean,
it's true.
Not to dive into a totally different topic, but Rebel Moon. Have you heard anything about that?
I've seen
Zack Snyder.
Yeah, I've seen stuff about it.
So,
I'm curious. Apparently, it was supposed to be something Star Wars related.
It was originally pitched as a Star Wars thing.
Yeah,
and I think obviously it got rejected, and Snyder was so happy that it did because you're pigeonholed into certain elements that you can and cannot do because of the IP.
Yep, he's right.
So I mean, if you're looking for something brand new, I mean,
I'm curious to see how this goes.
Rebel
it looks
Moon
good.
Might be. I mean, the visual is going to be great because it's Snyder.
Yeah.
I know Snyder gets a lot of hate because there's going to be too much slow motion.
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch is one of those movies that is visually beautiful, but what in the actual fuck is happening in that movie? I remember
she dances, bro.
I remember
she
when
just
that
dances.
trailer came out.
Dude, how hyped were we when that movie came out?
This is everything I've ever wanted to see. I'm like, we have beautiful women. We have dragons.
Giant
we have,
robots.
Robots. Crazy kung fu martial art nonsense going on. I was like, this is going to be it.
Yeah.
This is going to be crazy. And then, it doesn't matter how good the visual feast is. If the story is absolute nonsense, you're just sitting there watching like
that movie
nothing.
is straight up nonsense.
Out of all the
I tried watching it again recently.
I'm sorry.
And I watched the whole thing and I'm like, yeah, no, still not good. Still not good.
I still couldn't believe that, like, out of all the things that they showed in that movie, you couldn't hire a choreographer to like yo, look how crazy she dances. You know, we couldn't even get a payoff of like what her incredible dance was.
Yeah.
God, I hate that movie.
Zombie, you're right. That's why we have anime for those wants. You are correct. They were trying to make a live action, some anime story. And I think that format would have actually worked better because I've seen some weird animes out there.
I mean, I thought again, it just needed a story. It had no story.
The story has no depth. It's just some random stuff that happens.
Some chicks in like a brothel, kinda, and she like.
No, it's an insane asylum, man.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's an insane asylum, not a brothel.
Escaping it's just
her escape was the dances. The dances are just hypnotic.
I can't deal with this anymore.
But yes, the next 4 episodes of Ahsoka, apparently are going to be huge.
So it's crazy. Are they going to all be theatrical releases?
No, they're talking just about episode 5.
So yeah, what's happening in this next episode? That they're like, yeah, we're going to put this.
We're going to put this in the movies.
In the movies, which.
You got me, man.
What is that, like Tuesday night? I guess we go. Like, when does it get released?
Dude, you want to go try and see it? We should try.
I mean, at the same time, it'd obviously be a lot cheaper if we just went to each other's house.
So now here's my next question: you're doing a theatrical release of this. How long is the episode?
That's what I mean.
Like, I'm not going to the movies for $27 for 45 minutes.
Exactly.
Like, nah.
So is this going to be an hour and a half episode? Mm-hmm. It's that. Like,
I don't know.
This has to be the episode.
We will find out Tuesday.
Thrawn must be revealed in this
episode. He
has
to. So in case anybody doesn't know, Thrawn's was casted as the original voice actor from Rebels, Mads Mikkelsen's brother.
Just another thing that I love that this series has been doing, even with Bo-Katan and.
Oh yeah. So the coolest thing about that is everybody loved him as Thrawn because his voice just hits that like beautiful tone and just that like calm, collective. Never in the entire series does he raise his voice. Does he get angry? He just says, "Mm-hmm," and he just recalculates. He like course corrects. Like that's how Thrawn is. Yeah. He doesn't deal in emotions. Now, I don't know if that's a cause for his species, but the character definitely lived it. It was so good. So I'm excited to see him. People had a real issue with them being casted because of his look. Like he just doesn't look like Thrawn, but then they show him like all like makeup out.
I mean, come on, just put makeup on him. Right.
And they did, and he looks great. So I'm excited.
So one of the things that I've liked. So one of the funny things last time we talked about this show, I was talking about like how crazy would it be if the Sith Inquisitor is Sky.
Starkiller. Yeah.
And now, again, spoiler alert if you haven't watched the last episode.
They cut him. She cuts him.
What is that?
I couldn't tell you. So my theory.
So you have no idea what it is.
So my theory is that, again, it's one of the. So the witches, if you have lack of a better. I don't remember the specific name of what they're called. The witches of Dathomir. Okay. So Dathomir is where Darth Maul is from. That's where his species comes from.
Okay.
And they were like these. They were force sensitive, so they could use the force, but in a weird, like, mystical way. So in Clone Wars, you see them a lot with Asajj Ventress. So for those of you that don't know who Asajj Ventress is, she is the pupil of, what's his name? My God, I'm losing it. Mm-hmm. But she is one of them. Mm-hmm. She's one of the sisters. The Night Sisters is what they call them.
Okay.
And you get to see a lot of their power and a lot of their abilities, and they have very mystical abilities. That was the whole thing. So like in Clone Wars, you see Maul come back and they create another Sith for Sidious and all them, and his name is Savage. So Savage, Maul, Savage, get it? And that's Maul's brother.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
Can't strike gold all the time.
Yeah, no. So they create him, like they use like mystical powers to imbue him with like all these like strengths and abilities, and he ends up, getting a lightsaber and basically becoming another Sith. So my theory is that's what this guy was. So Monarch is what his name is. He is. You don't really know what he is yet. You just know that Ahsoka cuts him, and this mist comes out of his armor.
I had got the feeling that it was some kind of witchcraft or something.
That's what I'm going with.
Especially since they've been introducing all that.
So that's what Morgan is. She is one of the sisters.
Yeah.
I think it's a lost opportunity for not introducing Starkiller, because Starkiller's actual real name is Marek with an A. So this is Marek or Marek, whatever you call him.
Well, I mean, what if the spell is like they?
That's what I'm saying. I think
him.
So I'm curious now if they show him.
They're projecting him.
I'm curious
You know
to
what I
know
mean?
if it's just he had to be contained in that armor for it to take, and then because all you see is just the gas come out. You don't know if there's an actual physical body in there. There could be. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh man, dude! If they're doing a theatrical release and it's episode 5, so you see Thrawn and then you see Starkiller, I will. It's a good day to die.
Obviously, the last episode ended off with her in some kind of force.
Yes. So I have a theory on that too.
And we see.
So I've been going back and forth with a friend of mine.
The man comes back.
Yeah. I love how, and I'm going to digress a little bit here, because Hayden Christensen, when he was first cast as Anakin Skywalker in Clone Wars, people fucking hated him. He got so much hate mail. He got so many death threats, like all these things. And then
angry nerds, man.
Yeah, dude.
Angry
and then,
fucking nerds.
Revenge of the Sith came out and people hated him even more. But it seems to me like everybody's now like, they're just so excited to see him. Like everybody, especially like our age, like our generation that grew up with those movies and went to the movies to see those movies, are now like, yeah, man, Hayden Christensen's back. Like, as much as like you may not have liked him in the beginning, like he's your Anakin Skywalker.
That's I think a lot of that. Not to take, not to be like, oh, his acting doesn't matter, but because again, he's not really portrayed well in the movies. It's really the Clone Wars that rounds that character out and brings him to it makes him like. So now, us growing up, I haven't, but many like you have watched all of the TV shows and everything.
Multiple
so now
times.
That Anakin is what you associate with him. So like it's easier for you to not remember how whiny and ridiculous they made him in the movies, and you remember.
It's funny you say that because I thought about that same thing.
Clone Wars.
So Clone Wars, exactly, like he's so much more of in Clone Wars especially, like he's a general, like he is General Skywalker, like, and he's much more serious and takes his duties much more seriously. Not to say that his extreme emotions don't come into play a lot of the time, but no, a lot of the scenes that he's in, he's not so emotional where it's just like, okay, like here's the Anakin we know. No, he's a completely different Anakin at that point, which is why I'm kind of sad in that he never, never was portrayed in Revenge of the Sith. And I think it was because it was an after the fact thing. Like, okay, Revenge of the Sith came out. Here's Clone Wars,
So here's my question. So she wakes up in some kind of Force dream world, or
so there's tie-ins to this. So
let me get my comment.
Go ahead. Get your comment out, and then I'll explain.
So by seeing him as Anakin, are we to believe that literally, like, when Anakin became Vader, Anakin did actually die, and this is actually his Force ghost? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know what you're saying, and I'll explain it.
Okay, no, that's why I wanted to ask the question first, because I thought you were going to get there.
So here's the thing. So, and it's shown a lot in the movies, especially. So when Qui-Gon dies in Episode 1, they talk about how Qui-Gon never became like a Jedi Master, like on the Council or whatever, because he refused to conform to their etiquette, essentially. He wanted to do things his own way, in the ways that he believed. And he was so in tune with the Force that when he died, he didn't actually die. His body died, but the Force within him became a part of the Force. You see that again in Episode 4 when Vader strikes down Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan just disappears and just kind of like doesn't exist anymore. And then he comes back in, Empire Strikes Back as this Force ghost. When a Jedi achieves true enlightenment or in true concentration with the Force, their body doesn't matter anymore. They become the Force, and they are able to live within the Force, which is why in Return of the Jedi you see Yoda, you see Obi-Wan, and you see Anakin. Because at the very end of Return of the Jedi, Anakin becomes himself again and realizes, like, what the truth is, and how he was always brought up in this prophecy of like, oh, I will bring balance to the Force. I will bring balance to the Force. Obi-Wan says it. He was supposed to bring balance to the Force, not destroy it.
Yep.
And he does. He does by having Luke. And Luke brings balance back to him. I think that Force ghost that you see in episode 4 of Ahsoka is that same ghost. In the sense of like, yes, I get what you're saying. Like, we think Anakin is dead, kind of. So it's a weird thing. He's so powerful that he can exist.
Well, that's what
in
I'm saying.
both
Like,
planes.
is that actually Anakin, or is she legit just?
She might be hallucinating.
She got knocked on her
Yeah,
ass, and
she might be
she's like,
hallucinating.
yeah, doesn't know what's up.
She might be hallucinating. Yeah, I can agree with it. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious to see where it goes, because he's Vader at this point in the story.
Yeah,
So,
no, I know. That's why it's like,
it could
hey,
be
Snips. It's like, oh.
oh, when he says "Hey, Snips," I
Yeah.
was like,
And then she's like, Master. I was like, oh shit, we're doing this. We're doing this.
Yeah, we're doing this right now. Let's go. And then it just ends. Just that's it.
So one of the things that we complained about a couple weeks ago, but then they seem like it didn't become an issue anymore.
Mhm.
Her fight scenes,
Oh yeah, we're incredible.
yeah,
yeah,
like
way better.
when she actually fought
Marek.
Race.
Yeah.
No,
Ray
Stevenson's
Stevens. Yeah.
Like, you can tell, like, now, I don't know, for whatever reason in those first couple episodes, it just seemed like she was very
She was very
controlled.
slow, very like.
Yeah, it just seemed like she was holding back.
Yeah, like the choreography. I don't know
And
if that's like an artistic choice or like an
But in
actual
these ones,
storytelling
like,
choice.
she's actually
yeah.
fighting. But I do have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't she do a lightsaber it up in his fight? Is because she respected him too much? Is that like a respect
It's not.
thing?
So just because you have 2 lightsabers doesn't make you better.
No, I know, but like,
Her whole thing was always that she had 2 lightsabers. Why she used 1 instead of 2, I don't know. My theory is that it has to do with stances. So like her actual fighting style is with 2 sabers, but maybe she thought because she's seen him fight. Maybe she thought like, hey, I can't win with two sabers. Maybe I can do better in 1, because 1. And now we're getting into the real nitty-gritty lore of it all.
The strength of his strikes.
Right. So that's why, like, if you watch Clone Wars, you see Yoda. Yoda's Jedi fighting style, his lightsaber fighting style, accounts for his small size.
Mm.
If you watch Count Dooku fight, Count Dooku, when he fights, it's actually very like a fencing style. Like, it's very like out here doing this. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of fighting Jedi fighting styles. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anakin is very aggressive and Obi-Wan is very defensive, and those go through all like the Jedis have like this form thing.
That is a good one, Oscar.
Yes, Oscar, that is completely true. Oscar versus Maul is an amazing fight.
You say Oscar versus Maul?
I'm sorry, Oscar versus Maul.
Yeah,
Ahsoka
Oscar, how was
versus
that
Maul.
fight,
Yeah,
man?
how was that fight? Yeah.
Yeah, go get it.
Ahsoka versus Maul is great. Yes. It's been a long week, people.
Man.
It's been a long
I know,
week.
dude. This week was it was a challenging week because
Yeah.
man, when you're just drained from work because the warehouse is a sweat box.
Yeah. You must be losing weight just out of sweat
Yeah,
alone.
dude. I was literally just like,
I hope you're hydrating.
oh yeah, you're drinking like 10 bottles. Like, you had no choice. You're
Yeah.
just gonna die. You're just gonna die there. Just like, yeah. What happened to AJ? I don't know.
Yeah,
He just didn't
you
drink
just
water.
melted away. But yeah, no, Ahsoka has been great. I'm very excited to see where the story goes. I feel like the first 4 episodes have been a very slow burn in terms of moving the story forward.
And now we're about to get a movie.
And now we're about to basically get a movie. So like, oh man, I hope it's an hour and a half. Give me an hour and a half long episode. Do it. Make it
Yo,
worth
imagine
it.
if the next 4 episodes are all an hour and a half.
Yes, I will take every single minute of it. No, it's great.
And I'm just glad that this show is holding up by itself, and there's no need for the Mandalorian.
It's true. Like, you don't really... The show holds up on its own. And like I've said before, like, you don't have to have watched Rebels or Clone Wars to enjoy this.
No, exactly. Yeah.
The characters are developing on their own. You get enough of their background to really understand them, understand their motivations, and really become attached to them. Right now your main motivations have been Sabine trying to bring back Ezra, which is why she gives them the map. I was like, no.
That's such a great scene, though.
Ezra doesn't want you to do this.
Again,
Stop.
though.
It's Thrawn. You fought Thrawn, and you're just going to let him come back?
Again, though. Ray Stevenson's character.
I know.
It's just too good.
I know.
It's just too good. Like,
I know.
everything
He
that
just holds out his hand, and she just, like,
doing
puts the map in his hand.
yo, no
Oh, I
harm will
can't.
come to you.
Yeah.
And then, like, and he's not lying either.
No,
Like,
he's
like,
not.
I'm a man of my word, unlike your former master. I was like,
former master. I was like, ooh.
Oh, I love when he just starts like digging into Ahsoka.
I love that.
He's like,
I love that she fights with a lightsaber too. Sabine fights with a lightsaber with no force ability. She's just like hot, and then she shoots him.
Didn't she have a little bit of the force there?
She did. Like she always does.
I feel like she had enough to stop her. Where it was like, oh, she
kind of.
She kind of grazed me.
It's kind of like
it's
either like oh, she like actually did something, or like she was preparing herself for like some kind of like impact, and nothing happened, and she goes, "You have no power," and then she just shoots her.
That's what I really love about this show. All the characters are so good.
Oh yeah,
even like his
apprentice. Yeah, Shin. Yeah,
like she's great.
She's great. She really is. She really is. And I like their dynamic.
Yeah,
because she's trying to understand why he's like letting her go, why she's like we should just kill them now, and he's like, no, I kept my word, like I'm a man of my word, I'm not going to do that. Like,
he's a very respectable evil man.
Yeah. Like, because he's not really, like, I don't even see him as a villain. That's the problem. You don't see him as a villain. You just see him as a guy doing whatever he wants to do.
Well, and that's what the best villains are. The best villains are ones that you can relate to and go,
okay, I get
maybe
that.
they're not. You know what I mean? Because, like, it really is a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
Like, if you are on the...
And I love this, like, gray area we're getting into that Star Wars has never really had before. Like, this whole, because you've always been like Sith versus Jedi, Rebel versus Empire. Now you're like, well, where are we? Like, what is happening right now?
I hate to bring up a sensitive topic, but that's kind of why I like The Last Jedi.
Oh, God.
Because The Last Jedi does go into
Leslie, is Jaws 2 still good?
Yeah. Because The Last Jedi does actually attempt to tackle that kind of issue just in
terribly
horrendous way.
Terribly.
But it is there.
Let me watch the 45-minute scene in the casino with Benicio del Toro again. It's great.
That entire scene can be
and then let's introduce this Rose character for an entire movie and then completely ignore her for an entire movie.
We're not getting into that. But yeah, that's so Ahsoka's been great. It's definitely
it's a great
it's
time,
up there
man.
with The Mandalorian.
It's a great time to be alive for all this stuff. Like, seeing a lot of like.
No, it's
there's definitely misses. There are definitely a great many misses.
Marvel has not had
my
many
issue
wins.
with Marvel is I feel like Marvel's just trying to oversaturate everything. Like, we don't need all of this, Like,
well, I mean, I felt like they kind of panicked, obviously, when rest in peace, Black Panther passed away, because I think he was definitely
Chadwick Boseman.
He was definitely going to be like their next phase guy.
Yeah.
To replace Tony, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And
did you like Wakanda Forever?
It's okay.
Yeah, that's how I feel. The hype on it didn't really do anything for me.
I do I don't think it's a bad movie by any means.
No,
but again, it's just more of a movie that I guess what we're all accustomed to with Marvel was this always building. Everything that happened in Marvel was building to something. And this entire phase, was it 4?
Yeah.
Really
like that,
hasn't they've been building towards Kang, but it's been in a very chaotic order to where half the shows are completely disconnected. Like, I remember when we had Loki and then the Multiverse of Madness was coming out.
Yeah.
And you had those hints of the multiverse with WandaVision. I was like, oh man, Multiverse of Madness can be crazy. Like, this is gonna be their chance.
That movie
to bring the X-Men in.
Yeah.
And we'll probably get Thang and some kind of payoff to Loki, and then fucking none of that happens. In fact, Multiverse of Madness is another throwaway movie of kind of nothing.
It's a good movie on its own, but it does nothing. Is
it? I mean, it ruins Wanda completely.
To a point, yeah.
It ruins WandaVision.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid, and I hate it.
It's stupid, and I hate it.
But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what the hell we were just talking about. What were we talking about?
We're talking about Star Wars and oversaturation.
Yes.
Yes, I agree that Star Wars is doing it a little better. They've definitely
because I mean, The Mandalorian
really revitalized the whole Star Wars
The Mandalorian
TV.
just brought Star Wars back.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like for me, The Mandalorian, like I always liked
You know
Star
why?
Wars. Mandalorian made me a fan.
You know why? Because Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau were like, hey, let us do something. Dave Filoni, I don't know what more the man needs to prove. Clone Wars, Rebels.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays the voice of Chopper, by the way, in Rebels. The robot. That's Dave Filoni. He just does these things that, like, just let the man work. Like, stop telling him what to do. Just let him work.
Yeah.
And he will create all these amazing things for you. I think it's going to end up being really great in the end, and I hope it is. I hope it's not trash. Not.
I don't think so. I mean, everything that Favreau and Filoni have done together in any capacity has been great. It's really only when they have interference where things have gone muddy, like Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Boba Fett basically.
Boba Fett wasn't. I'm not gonna say it was awful, but it was just like, why? Like none of it made any sense. There's no motivation for anything.
And it's not even a full Boba Fett show.
Yeah, you have 2 episodes of Mandalorian.
Almost 3. Almost 3.
Yeah.
You have 1 full episode of Mandalorian.
Great episode though, where you got Boba Fett and the Mandalorian fighting.
Yeah, but at the same time,
forth.
like, I get why that sent Favreau off the rails and why he almost left.
Yeah,
was because how the hell why are you reuniting these 2 characters in a fucking other show?
Yeah.
So like, if you didn't watch Boba Fett, you would come back to season 3 of The Mandalorian and go, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, why we just left?
Where's Luke?
We left Grogu by himself. Like, what happened here?
So like, I get that stuff. That's always a weird thing. But
Oscar, you're right. Marvel should take a breather and regroup.
well, I think they've said that.
Yeah,
they've said that.
Well, because Secret Invasion failed.
I think. Well,
I didn't even watch Secret Invasion.
dude, it's not good.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it. I'm disappointed.
It's like not terrible, but then again, it's just not good enough to where like you're excited for the next thing.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what Marvel has lost. Was their whole thing was like they had all these very solid, good movies. None of them were great.
Yeah,
but the hype to them was that finale scene building up to something bigger.
Oh yeah, dude, you'll never forget the end of Iron Man.
Yeah,
seeing Nick Fury come out for the first time, like that build. But I feel like a lot of it now,
Thor's hammer in the desert. You know what I mean? Like,
I think a lot of that now is like, okay, we need to write a movie to build to the next movie. Like, don't do that. Just write a movie. Write a good story. Write a good movie. Write good characters, and the movies will build themselves. The stories will build themselves.
Well, I mean, that's why Justice League failed, because they tried to do what Marvel did in reverse order.
Yeah.
They were like, all right, let's have the Justice League and see if any of these characters are good, and we'll spin off from that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like,
you get nothing. You get a lot of really great moments, and that you're just like, oh man, I would love to see more of this. Like, I would have loved to see a Ben Affleck Batman movie.
I was about to say, I'm so out of the biggest disservice is we don't get a full Batfleck Batman movie.
No, we don't.
I'm so grateful that he's done all the cameos that he's done.
Yeah,
like he fantastic. He still wanted,
regardless of anything, he wanted to give the character justice. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're welcome. He wanted to give that character justice and give it like the life that he wanted to give it, and really see it through to the end. But like. This is the problem. Like, just write good stories. Like, Ahsoka right now is a great story on its own. You don't have to watch Clone Wars. You don't have to watch Rebels. You can enjoy this show by itself, and it's still a good show. That's the whole thing.
And it's breaking a lot of, it's just, I don't want to say it's breaking a lot of the tropes that have been in Star Wars, but again, you said, like, this show's really getting into those gray areas, and it's not just like, I'm a Jedi and you're a Sith, we must fight. This is just like...
This is why Thrawn is one of the most beloved characters. And I say beloved, he's a villain. Like, he works for the Empire.
I mean,
he's
Vader
out to
is
do
also
it.
one of the most beloved characters.
That's for a different reason, because he's just awesome. Thrawn is amazing for different reasons, because Thrawn he's not violent. He never fights. Like, he never fist fights, really. Like, he doesn't have a lightsaber, he doesn't have a blaster. He just does things tactically. Like, he always thinks to himself, this is where we need to go. the whole thing is that he does this whole thing where he analyzes art from different cultures, and he understands how to defeat that enemy with, like, just by looking at their artwork, and he does it every time. You know, it really is amazing.
Defeats them by their artwork.
Yeah, so he analyzes their artwork and he understands their cultures, and because he understands their cultures, he understands their motivations. So because he understands their motivations, he can tactically defeat them. And that's how he does it every time.
That's what's up.
In Rebels, he does it with the Twi'leks. So Hera is a Twi'lek, and she, in Rebels, is the daughter of one of the leaders of the Twi'lek resistance for the Empire. And he basically, he's like, I'm 5 moves ahead of you already, just by analyzing their artwork. And he just sits there and he looks at it. And he sees what's there and what's not there. And they go into, real deep into that in the books. Because that's how his mind, thinks. He thinks tactically in everything. What's missing from this picture, you know?
But we have any we want to wrap up on Ahsoka, jump into Godzilla Minus One?
Yeah.
Then we'll finish with One Piece?
Sure, we can finish One Piece there.
Alright, let's jump into the Godzilla. Have you seen you've seen this trailer?
Oh, I've seen this trailer 3 times already.
Well, we're gonna play it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
You know it's real when you see the Toho logo. Oops.
Oof.
Written, directed, and visual special effects.
That's amazing. He did all of it.
Okay.
What are you doing,
you know
man?
what? Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be 100% honest with you.
Go
I
for it.
hate the name. -1, I think, is silly.
Okay, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
All right,
But everything else is perfect.
all right. So one,
You're like, I don't care.
seeing the
It's
Toho
amazing.
logo before a Godzilla movie, there's just something about it because it's engraved. You just know, when you see it, you're like, yeah, it's real.
Here it is.
So I'm just gonna start breaking down a bunch of stuff here. But what,
Oscar says, can you please put out a spy in the window?
no,
It's my favorite shot of the trailer.
this. All right, see him coming out right there.
Yeah.
So I love this shot because this is very reminiscent of the Godzilla 2014 teaser trailer.
Mhm.
It's very much the same thing. He
Mhm.
kind of comes out
You
of the
just see
smoke,
him in the
and
smoke.
you see you do the roar. So and that's the one thing that I keep saying about this movie, the way it looks and everything so far, is this looks like we're getting the movie that we were promised
Yeah.
with Godzilla 14, where this is the destroyer of worlds. And goddamn,
It's there.
goddamn,
This shot right here, I love it.
is
Just
this
seeing their-
kaiju? Yes, it is. Yeah, the fear on her face. Look out your window, policeman at my door. I mean, dude, the cinematography of this movie looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks great. Zombie
Godzilla.
says, will you make a sofubi
What?
of the design? Will you make a sofubi of the design?
We haven't talked about it. This would be just going off the top of what I know on how to, in terms of Sofubi, his spikes, his dorsals, the way they are, might be really challenging to do in a traditional Sofubi style.
Mhm.
I'm not saying it can't be done, but like I said, it would be challenging for sure because
Mhm.
just the way they are, they're tremendous.
Yeah.
And they're tremendous, in all angles. But and they're not going in a certain direction, very similar to Godzilla 2000, where they're rigid, but they're
Mm-hmm.
in a these are the Hesai fins, but on crack, and going in 2 different directions. But yeah, it's not something we've talked about. Because we did just get something approved.
Are we revealing something today?
No, we're not
No?
revealing anything
Alright.
tonight.
Alright.
No.
Alright.
But
Alright.
for the For the 12 people that are watching right now.
Special treat. Exclusive.
If you've been following Spiral Toy, and you saw a James Groman Mechagodzilla imposter kind of figure that we showed concepts of, that design has officially been approved.
Uh-oh.
So that's all I'll say. So I'm really excited. Really excited to eventually show that off, but that would be the only news I can
reveal at this time.
I don't even know if I should have even
Stay
revealed
tuned.
that, but yes.
Stay tuned.
So there's that. This Godzilla, like I said, is everything that I've wanted to see in a Godzilla movie.
I feel like it's going back to the roots, man.
Yeah, like the vibe of this movie, and I love how I love the color tones. When he's like on land, you get all those earth tones, and when like you got the water scenes, you got the blue tones, and again, it's just
aesthetics,
beautiful.
man. I love the coloring aesthetics that people have been theming in these movies.
And when you
far.
look into the crowd too, and like all these things, and I remember reading about this, where the director like wanted all of his people to run until they were like out of breath.
Yeah,
like he wanted that. So like when you watch, because in all these movies, you can always find like a couple people that are like they're just like, yeah, like you're just like,
gotta run.
Like these people, like he was like, run for your lives. And then like, dude, this shot here, like,
yeah, people just getting wiped out.
People getting wiped out, flung up. It's crazy. Like this is the realism and terrifying. Like I think that's why I got Godzilla 14. For me, I always love like when he comes onto the Hawaii, and like just him beaching himself.
Yeah,
literally is a typhoon. Like it takes out.
Yeah,
you know, you don't realize like these little things that he does is so destructive. Like he just like, I woke up today, and you're like, oh, that entire village is gone now.
Oops.
So like this is just like I'm walking down the block.
That's it.
Like I don't even know if this is is this part of the street that he.
Oh, I clipped a really good like shot of his feet, and I don't know why. I've just been like attached to Godzilla's feet. They're just that fucking looks awesome.
Yeah, and one of the things, and like why this, I'm more excited about this than I ever was for like Shin Godzilla. Partially because Shin Godzilla's design never really spoke to me.
Never
like
vibed with you.
Like it's cool, but it's not like, oh, like I know Shin is a super popular design, but for me in general wasn't.
You don't like the disjointed jaw thing?
No, no. Actually, that's my favorite thing about him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, purple Shin is my favorite. But Shin didn't really show a lot of casualties. You know, obviously, like people are getting wrecked. This movie.
So you're saying this shows more of the realistic devastation?
Yeah, like Toho usually, doesn't like to show certain things.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, they're
all
like,
right, go ahead.
You know what, man? Do what you need to do, because Godzilla. Everything that Godzilla has done in these trailers, like dozens and dozens of people are dying. Now they're flat out just showing you him step on people. Usually, like
they avoid that.
Usually, that's a cutaway scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll see the foot in the people, and then like there's the cut, and you hear the pound.
Yeah.
Like this is they're just like, nah, just show it.
Nope.
Just show them, kill them all. And then this is my favorite shot of the entire trailer. Like, and this part of the trailer. Obviously, it looks like they try to nuke him again because they don't know what to do. I guess maybe they're like, "Hey, America, you got another one of those?
You got another one of those things hanging out."
Things. And that's what I think. The end of the trailer, where you see him all scarred up, is like him regenerating from this blast.
Mm-hmm.
And you might, I don't want to. I mean, I guess I get into some of the politics that I think are going to be happening in this, but there's that scene where she's like, "You're a disgrace," and like pushes him.
Mm-hmm.
It might be because like they made the order to bomb themselves again.
Yeah.
And like there's stuff going on like that. Because like this scene is just the vibe that this scene gives off, like the hopelessness. Like these people are just. They know it's over.
Yeah.
And like, and then there's
Yeah.
Godzilla just literally standing right there, like, Whatever, bro.
Good way to die.
Like, look at the destruction of this, man.
Yeah.
Like, these two trailers that we've got, this is just on both sides of the spectrum. They're just so good. This shot,
Him
Now-
swimming under the boat.
what I love about this too, I can break down this trailer. This is gonna be Evandro the next segment, just where he's just going off on it. But one of my biggest complaints with Godzilla 14 was I didn't like this random superhero-ness where like you see him swimming with the military, like side by side. They're like, yeah,
Just like,
comes
hey, here's
Godzilla.
my fins,
Like,
here's the battleship.
This is how it's supposed to feel.
Yeah.
Like you're out in the middle of the fucking ocean and this
Giant monster is just
thing
hanging out
swims
underneath
under
you.
you. Like,
And you don't even notice it? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have radar at this point. Come on, stop.
that's what I mean. Like the sense of dread that and the way the music hits when this scene pops
So that's
up.
what I was going to say. The music and just the music in this trailer
Sets the
alone.
tone. So good.
So good.
But like, yeah, like how eerie this is of like, you're out in the middle of the ocean with this fucking massive
Creature. You don't even know what it is yet.
Like, terrifying. Godzilla clearly just like, I'm just gonna get up and rip this shit off.
Why is this above me?
Yeah, what's this thing?
Yeah, over.
And
There's the atomic breath, bro.
the atomic breath that just, again, the visuals in this movie are amazing. The
So
fact
good.
that it looks like a nuclear bomb.
Yep.
Like,
Here we are.
see, this is the scene I'm talking about. Because, like, that guy's clearly a general.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of,
Some guy in the military.
yeah, like, you know,
You
reveals what
did,
they
like, you
did.
did this.
And then this,
Yeah, we'll
this
never
hits
forget
me
this.
like, this hits me like the 54, like, we'll see your father soon kind of
Yeah.
shit. You're just
Yeah.
survive and fight.
I remember when you told me about that scene and I watched it on the DVD. I was like, damn, that hits different.
See, this,
This is him coming up on the beach?
yeah, like, I don't know. Because there's a lot of rumors with this movie. There's
Okay.
rumors that there's two Godzillas.
I'm sorry, what?
That there's two different Godzillas. Or there's just two different, there's
I mean,
two monsters.
Has there ever been like...
An actual two Godzillas? No.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously there's been like Mecha Godzilla
Well, that's what I
pretending
mean.
to be
Yeah,
Godzilla.
like, but no, there's never actually been two Godzillas in the same movie. So like,
Oh man, I
what-
want to see it.
What if one of them is actually like the good one? I don't know.
I want to see it. I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, so there's some cool rumors flying around. And I remember, I gotta ask this because Leslie had asked, because the director was actually talking about like his four Godzilla movies that are like must watch to like lead up to Godzilla Minus One. And if
Okay.
you're watching right now, what would be your 4 movies that you would watch
To lead up to this?
to lead up to going to the movie theaters on December 1st to watch this goddamn movie?
Godzilla Minus One.
Would you even have
Would I even have 4? I don't think I'm proficient enough to really attest to 4.
4? So, and then let's
Again, I'm gonna do my Kaiju in review.
Yes.
I
Well,
will.
you
I
know
will
what?
get back. I will.
Minus
You know
one.
what? I will attempt to do that. I will attempt. Here's the challenge, people. I'm going to attempt to watch all the Godzilla movies, not the new ones, all the Godzilla movies before December 1st, and I will have an answer for you.
That's insane.
I'm ready.
That's
I have no more tests to study for, so I'm ready to go.
that's crazy. So if I had to pick 4, I would obviously do 54.
Mhm.
I would do 85.
Okay.
Um,
Why in particular? Those are just great, or there's some elements that you see in the trailer that would really like resonate when you go see this.
well, I think you have to watch the more serious ones to prepare you
Mhm.
for this, and obviously,
Well, this definitely seems like it's a more serious
and the
tone.
ones where Godzilla is more standalone and not fighting something else. So obviously, 54, I think, is especially the Japanese version
Yes.
where you're gonna.
I
Get,
have that's the one I've watched more recently.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love the Godzilla King of the Monsters, Raymond Burr version, the Japanese version hits a lot of those morbid
Oh yeah.
scenes a lot more, which definitely going to prepare you for this. 85, just because, again, very similar. Like Godzilla, it's a very serious Godzilla movie. Godzilla is, when he shows up, shit gets wrecked. Then I would probably say GMK, because again, I mean, now that is one where he does fight other monsters, but in that particular movie, I do think they're doing something similar where Godzilla represents all the souls that were lost in the bombing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's that
And you
evil.
think GMK, like...
No, GMK is like 100.
Yeah.
They say that. Yeah.
Oh, they actually like
no,
it?
that's what
Yeah.
he's like, basically a demon.
Oh.
So a lot of people are speculating this is the same thing. That's why it's like that monster will never forgive us.
Mm.
It's the same kind of concept of, like, this monster represents the people, and that's also why a lot of people speculate the way his skin looks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they did it in Shin Godzilla too. Why Shin Godzilla looks so scarred, because that's one of the reasons why Godzilla has the scales that he has. Is those are actually the like radiation burns from people
Also,
that
like,
actually
just
survive.
like his skin. Oh shit!
Oh yeah, look it up.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's why his scales are the way they are.
Whoa!
Yeah, Godzilla gets real fucked
dark.
up. Yeah,
Wow.
real messed up and dark when you really like look at what they were trying to do.
Jesus. Oof.
So I really think that's, and then the fourth movie I kind of feel is really a toss up for me. I would go with the American Godzilla 2014 because I see a lot of parallels from cinematography to like the
I think aesthetically too. Like it just
the
you can see the
colors are very-
resemblance.
So I feel like that would be a really good one. Obviously, I don't think this Godzilla is gonna turn into the Keeper of the Peace. Kind of like I'm gonna roll with the humans like 14 ended up doing.
Yeah.
But the beginning of 14, I think, is gonna be very similar to this. And then I guess my on the fringe candidate would be Shin Godzilla, because again, it's a realistic take, Godzilla solo, of what he can do. So those would be my four movies. Hey Jim, yes, Hulk smash that like button. Those would be my four movies leading up. So it would be 54 or 54, 85, GMK, and then Godzilla 2014.
What did the director say? Which four did he say? You remember?
If I have my phone, I could pull it up because Leslie sent it to me. Or if you want to...
I'll try to look it up, yeah.
What's the director's name? Hold on. I got it. It's in the beginning where they tell you he does everything. Hold on. Written, directed... Takashi Yamazaki. I think I might have actually said that right. Holy crap. Holy...
I would say so.
I must not be... You know, see, that's why I ate before we started the show. Or else no way I would have said that right. So yeah, just like, but in like 4 Godzilla movie screenings or something like that. Because he just recently had an interview where he talks about it. But yeah, so I cannot think of a better time to literally be a Kaiju fan right now with the content that is coming out. We have Monarch Legacy of Monsters. We have Godzilla Minus One. We have Godzilla X Kong New Empire. We have Gamma Rebirth just dropped. I mean, it's getting kind of crazy, and I love it. Can't find it.
No. What? We'll figure it out. Yeah, it's hey man, it's time to be alive.
This is like it.
I just love that shot, the reflection.
Yeah, and like the fear in this poor woman's face. You know,
it's almost like fear and acceptance all at the same time.
Yeah, like they're talking about this thing called Godzilla, and you're like, "Is that fucking it?" Like, what?
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be great, especially for like Godzilla fans. I think it's exactly what you want it to be.
For me, yeah, this is I love evil Godzilla.
Are there people that don't like that? I mean, obviously, like people that are fans, like I understand not liking a villain, but like if you're a Godzilla fan, I feel like you're a Godzilla fan. Like,
no, I don't think there's anyone that doesn't like it, but more people, because usually when you get evil Godzilla, it's usually when he's by himself.
Yeah.
So there are a large majority of the community definitely loves monster fights. So
well, obviously, yeah.
you kind of don't get both. That's why GMK was kind of like special in a way, because usually like Godzilla is not the bad guy when there's other monsters around.
Yeah, he's just defending himself, bro. It's
Oscar
self-defense.
says very similar: 54, 85, 14, and Shin.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah,
I can get that. I can buy
absolutely. I think it's going to be really hard to argue against those four. I can't. Trying to even think of another movie where he's that kind of. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, my also one of my favorite things is the roar.
Mm-hmm.
They brought back that 85 kind of roar where he's got
a little more guttural.
Yeah, like he doesn't. That was one of my biggest. We run short on time.
No,
I'm
getting the Giants game alerts.
Okay. What's the Giants? What's the score? What's the score?
Now you want me to look?
Yeah. We have a breaking football announcement. Hold on. New York. We got the Giants.
33-0.
You guys are getting killed, or you
destroyed?
You're losing 33-0 right now
to the Cowboys. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, you hate to see it.
You hate to see it. Sorry for that football interruption, people.
Since we're on a quick little football talk here.
While you do this, I'm going to go use the bathroom.
Oh, okay. All right.
I have to.
All right, bye.
I have to. Been holding it the whole time.
Bye. Well, as my co-host has just disappeared, you know what? We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna just take a little break here, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about One Piece. Vondro's, I have not personally seen it, but it is a huge thing for Vondro. He loves that, so we're gonna dive into that next. But Godzilla Minus One, I cannot wait. I really hope we can get the movie theater thing locked down. So we can all, maybe have a bunch of us see it together from the Kaiju Live family. It would be awesome. But man, so much content coming, and it all looks very promising. Not getting any Godzilla Final Wars vibes from any of this stuff. But tomorrow, baby, JETS. Jets. Let's see what they got. Me and my buddy might be live streaming right after the game, because that was a segment that we wanted to actually add to this on Sundays, of just like a 10-15 minute rant between me and my one basically brother-in-law. So we might do that tomorrow night, which should be a lot of fun. But all right, hold on 1 second, and we will be right back.
As I come back.
All right, we're back.
And we're back. Sorry, I really had to use the bathroom.
We lost half our audience, so you hate to see it.
Nah, we'll be back. It's fine.
But all right, so I'm gonna let this segment's all yours. So we're about to jump into
The One Piece live action. I want to talk about first how it has broken the curse of the live action anime. It's been, first of all, it's just a good show in general. Like, it's well paced, characters are fun. This is one of the best parts about it. They decided on going with practical effects rather than CGI. So all the fishmen that you see, the fishmen are species in the show, are all makeup.
Really?
Yeah, all makeup.
Well, that's
This guy is Arlong. He is the main villain of the initial arc of One Piece. This is, by the way, this arc is called the East Blue Saga. And he's terrifyingly awesome. Like, and all of the other fishmen around him, they're all practical effects. It's all rubber suits, all makeup.
really okay.
Yeah. And the fights that happen are great. I love it. Honestly, I really do. It was great to watch. I hope to see more. The more I learn about how dedicated the cast was to this, it's more impressive than anything else. All the actors did most of their own stunts because they wanted to. The Emily Rudd, I think is her name.
Okay.
No relation to Paul Rudd. She learned how to use the bow staff for her character because Nami uses a bow, and she learned how to do it on her own. And Taz Skylar, who plays Sanji, the whole spiel of Sanji is that he can kick. He kicks a lot. He uses his feet because his hands are only for cooking. He learned how to do capoeira. He learned how to do kickboxing. Like, took a lot of work into making his fight scenes interesting. So a lot of that was great. The story is really, it's good. It's fine. And actually, the East Blue Saga in the anime is like, I couldn't even tell you, like 90 episodes. And they did all of that in 8 episodes. And you would think like, oh, you're missing so much. You're not. You took each episode that you wanted to focus on the characters that you wanted to develop those characters, and they did that. Anime always has a long history of kind of like overdoing it, and obviously like everything is over exaggerated in anime, like just like emotions are over exaggerated, movements are over exaggerated. They just took that out and they made it into an actual show. Yeah, this is Buggy. Buggy's my favorite. So the anime, Buggy in the anime is the dumbest character. He's just annoying. He's obnoxious. His laugh is stupid. In this, he's terrifying. He's a villain. He's insane. Like, Luffy makes a comment about his nose, and he goes, "My what?" And he goes, "No, I said my nose what?" And it's like this whole thing. And he's like, he's a really great character in this show. And he has a better role in this show than he did in the anime. Interesting. Yeah, he's a much more interesting character here. They did that with a couple of them. This one and Usopp, who's one of the crewmen, is way more interesting. The guy in the middle of this shot, that's Mihawk, otherwise known as Hawkeye. He's considered the greatest swordsman in the world. He carries this giant sword on his back. Garp is on the left and Arlong on the right. These characters actually have so much more depth in this show than they do in the anime, because they have to. They kind of have to have more of that screen time, like individually.
CC says, is it subtitled? No.
No, it's in English. It's not subtitled.
No, it's a Netflix live action American.
Yeah, it's Americanized. The funny thing is I've seen a lot of talks, like initially when it was pitched, Oda, who created One Piece in 1999, was like, no, you're not allowed to have this unless I have final say over everything. So he had final say over the casting. He had final say over the story. Like, he always had final say, but he also let people live. Like, he let them kind of design what they wanted to do. He just wanted to make sure that his baby was not destroyed.
Felt true to the characters, yeah.
And like it just aesthetically, it's a beautiful show. Like they spent millions upon millions of dollars for just sets.
So in terms of the anime, because I know the anime is enormously long.
Yes, 1,075 episodes.
If you had to guess, this first season, is the first season done or is it split up?
No, this is the first season.
So it's done.
It's done. Yeah.
Okay. So with this first season covers how many episodes? Would you say?
Like I said, probably about like I'd have to look back on how long the East Blue Saga arc is, but I would say like 70, 80 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, like a lot. But every arc is different lengths. Like the current arc in the anime is well over 180 episodes right now. Like in terms of start of the arc to finish, because there's so much story in there, and they give you a lot of backgrounds of very different characters. This is the East Blue arc is perfect because it's introductory. You meet all the main crew, and you meet the main villain here. And it takes a long time to actually get it even to a point where you see him in the anime. In this, they introduce him later on, but he's still like, he just walks in and he's like this terrifying presence. And One Piece deals with a lot of really like deep like viewpoints. Like there's politics, there's racism, there's cannibalism, there's like
this is all in the show.
All in the show, you get a little bit of touch of the politics, because all along this whole thing is that he wants to control the East Blue and make a better world for fishmen who have been enslaved by the humans.
I like how they call them fishmen and not seamen.
Yeah, they're called fishmen. That's really what they are. They're fishmen. So that's his whole spiel. He wants to make as much money as possible and basically humiliate and punish the humans for everything they ever did to fishmen. And in the beginning of the anime, you're like, all right, so Luffy's gonna fight bad guy, beat bad guy, and then you later on in the series, you actually learn his motivations behind all that, like why he got to be like. He didn't just wake up and was like this. Like he dealt with a lot of abuse. He dealt with a lot of racial segregation, a whole lot of deep stuff. You don't get that in this show just yet. But you definitely get, like, he's just angry. Like, he's mad.
So what would you rate it? Out of 10?
Probably 8 out of 10.
Really?
8 out of 10. 8.5.
All right, so in comparison, what did you rate Cowboy Bebop?
3.
Holy
Yeah.
that bad, huh? I didn't think it was that bad.
It's... You don't understand, like, how beloved that... So in comparison, Cowboy Bebop's series, I think, is only... Oh, my God, I'm going to mess this up. I think it's only, like, 30-something episodes, the entire series. And in that in that small amount of episodes, I forget the number, in that small amount of episodes, you get so much from the characters, like Spike as a character himself, like he always feels like the Joker, like the jokester, and like always like so nonchalant about everything. And then like as the series progresses, like you realize like his motivations are very, very deep. His emotions are very, very deep. And you get none of that from the Netflix show.
Really?
Yeah. Aesthetically, it's fine because Cowboy Bebop, especially like the cartoon, was always colorful. There was always lots of vibrant colors. There was always lots of, different things that draw you in, to catch your eye on the screen. And that was always what made it great. But like, all right, so Cowboy Bebop's main villain in the Netflix show, the main villain was what's his name? He's god awful. God awful.
So as someone that didn't hate the live action, I enjoyed it because again, I did not have any connection to the anime. I did watch the anime after, and was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Why people are pissed.
Yeah.
So like as a general audience person first, I thought it was fine, but even watching it, that main character, the main villain, was
terrible. Because if you watch the anime, like he's super dark, super like brooding, like, and you get none of that. He almost reminds me of like Joffrey from King of Thrones. Like he's just a dick.
So what is one thing in the Netflix adaptation of One Piece that like you thought they either missed the mark or just got flat out wrong?
I don't think they missed anything. They told the whole story that they needed to tell, and they told it well. there are little things that I feel like are awkward because now they were so true to the source material that it works in anime. It doesn't work for live action.
Okay.
So there's like a really great scene, and it's a very popular scene among One Piece fans in this arc especially. So Nami, the female character, she starts off the series with them like traveling with them a little bit, and like she's always this like thief. She's always all about money, like blah blah blah. You find out her motive, especially in this, her motivations are that she wants to collect all this money so that she could pay Arlong to save her village, like to because he's terrorizing her village, and she wants to pay him off so that he leaves the village alone. And that was the deal they made. He makes her maps of the world, of the East Blue, so that he can point out where all the military bases are and either destroy them or avoid them. And she brings him back enough money and he'll leave her village alone.
Okay.
But she always seems like the jerk about it. Spoiler alert, he doesn't keep true to his word. And he ends up trying to destroy her village anyway. And there's a really emotional scene where it's night, it's raining, and she, at one point in the story, told Luffy and Zoro and the rest of the crew to just leave. She wants nothing to do with them, and she basically says, get the fuck out. And then this happens, and he starts, like, setting her village on fire, and she just crumbles in the middle of, like, this dirt road and is just crying, and Luffy's just standing behind her, and she goes, I told you to leave. And he's like, I know you did. And she just starts crying hysterically, and she just cries out, Luffy, help me. And Luffy walks up behind her, takes off his hat. So his hat, the straw hat, is like his most precious possession. He takes it off and he puts it on her head, and he goes, "Of course I will." And there's like it's a really emotional scene. But then right afterwards, he just shoots his hands up in the air and goes, "Of course I will." And you see it in the anime, and it makes sense in the anime because that's just like how ridiculous he is. They do that in the show, and it's just kind of like it kind of kills the moment a little bit. Yeah. But you're like, all right, it's shot for shot from the show. Like, I get it. And that's where I feel like if it has to miss, that's where it misses. Sometimes, and I made fun of that IGN review that says it's too true to the source material. It is very true to the source material to almost that point.
Okay.
But other than that, like, it's aesthetically, it's beautiful. And just like the fights that take place, the choreography that takes place, like there's a whole scene where they fight in the courtyard, and their movements are great, like, and they're different from each other too. Like Zoro's very rigid and very concentrate with his swords, and Luffy's just all over the place. He's supposed to be rubber, so they really do that without having to just make him stretch all the time. So he like bounces around people, he jumps off of people, rolls over people, and just kind of like does this whole like, oh, let me that type of thing. And he does a great job of coming off as a cartoon character in a live action setting.
That's awesome.
And, it's really great.
Everything that I've read about, like you brought up earlier, the cast
are
all fans and like cared, and it's good to see that shot come through. Like Kelly and I finally just started the Witcher season 3, and that's like another thing, like where you can just, as I'm watching it, I'm like, how are you gonna replace Henry Cavill? Like,
dude, casting is so important.
He is that character, and
I don't know. Apparently, they have like a meta way to change him too. Like, I haven't finished. Eric and I have been trying to make our way through The Witcher 3, and we're both just like,
it's really good though so far.
I know.
But Emma, that's why we didn't start it right away, because it was like,
dude, casting is so important. And when they cast, let me pull up his name. It's like a weird name, Inaki. Hold on, I'm gonna kill it. Hold on. When they cast him as Luffy, everybody was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" Because he was just like, Inaki Godoy is his name.
Okay, I won't try.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't try.
It's the best I could do. Sorry. When they cast him, everybody was like, I mean, he looks like Luffy, and then he opens his mouth, and you're like, oh, this kid is Luffy, 100%. So they had a lot. Oda, again, the creator, saw a audition video of him, and he laughed so hard that he's like, no, this kid's got to be Luffy. And he was like, I think I watched one more after that, and I was just like, no, this kid's got to be Luffy.
Yeah.
And the guy that plays Zoro is the son of the actor that played Musashi in Kill Bill, the guy that gives her his sword. That's his actual son.
No way.
Yeah, that's his actual son, which is funny because he plays the swordsman in this. even he, like, they're all just like, they love it. They love being these characters. Like, you see them in interviews and they're just so happy. Not one person's like, yeah, it was all right. It was cool.
It's like the Harry Potter kids.
Yeah.
When they were kids, they were like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah, exactly. And now they're just like, I have to do something else now. The guy that plays Sanji, so his name is Taz Skylar. He, like I said, they talked about like the choreography of the fights, and he only uses his feet. And the stunt choreographer was like, only using your feet in a fight is kind of like stupid looking, like, because you're only doing so many things. So I had to combine like 4 different martial arts to make it interesting. And then he puts the guys on wires and things like that. Not only that, but his character in the show is also a cook. He learned how to cook properly, like gourmet meals, to make it look good on camera, to the point where like he's like, now I just really enjoy cooking. And that's like the dedication that these actors had for these roles, and I love it. Like, you could just see, like, I don't know if it's they're young and you haven't really seen them in a lot of things and they're just like really excited to be doing this, but they seem to just love being these characters and they love bringing it to life. Honestly, I love it, and I really think it really did break that curse of live action anime adaptations that just don't work, like Cowboy Bebop, Death Note. Like, it's just not like.
So does this show now just give you more hope that Netflix is more willing to put out a more quality product that The Last Airbender?
That's what I was thinking about too.
The Last Airbender now.
It all depends.
Very similar, all the stuff that's come out, like the costumes, the casting, kind of very similar to One Piece, where like you're like, all right, it looks like at least these people care this time.
One, yeah.
So, yeah.
I have hope. But then again, I always have hope. Like, that it's just like,
you're very hopeful.
I try to just, but this I was very like, oh my God, I love it. I really love the trailer. I really love the casting. I really love the decision making they had behind the show. And I really did love it. And then I'm like afraid to love it so much that I'm just like, well, please don't fall flat. I really don't want you to fall flat. And that's how I feel like Airbender. And the problem I have with Airbender is the fucking god-awful movie that they put out, because I was like, oh my God, a live-action movie. Went to see it, and I was one of the only movies I was like, I want my money back. So, oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah, so you gave us this clip. So
this is a great clip.
Started from the beginning.
Of the anime side by side with the live action show. Yes, he fights him with a little knife. Again, he's the greatest swordsman. So they took like little liberties. Like, he doesn't fight with the third sword in his mouth in this fight just yet. But it's literally like shot for shot. And it's worth it, because this scene in the anime is so good. Yeah. Even his movements, they try to like replicate.
So does he eventually fight with the
Mihawk? Not as of yet. 1,075 episodes, and he is not fought him again.
No, does he fight with the sword in his mouth?
Oh yeah, he does. In the show, he does. In the show, in the live action, and yeah, he does.
Why don't you retreat?
Yeah, so he stabs him with the little knife. He's like, all right, now you're worth it. He's like, and it's a great scene. Like, this is one of like Zoro's greatest lines in the whole show. Oh, they even skip it.
Episodes of Netflix live action adaptation of One Piece has just released.
Yeah, this is where he fights some of the fishmen.
Oh, no, we're gonna get YouTube's gonna shut us down if we keep playing too much of it.
They've actually done it.
But yeah, like he in the end of this fight, they do like a big fight, and he's like, all right, I'll use my sword as an honor to you, and he pulls the big sword off his back, and they do the classic like anime like slide by each other, and as he does that, Zoro slides across the deck, and his swords just fall apart because he completely, like, Mihawk completely destroys them, and then Zoro like stands up, and he's like, and Mihawk's like, what are you gonna do? He's like, a swordsman's greatest shame is having wounds on his back. And he just goes like this, and Mihawk just cuts him across the chest. Yeah, Zoro's a badass. Well, like, this is what made the live action so good. Like, moments like that were just like so special, especially if you're a fan. Like,
Chris, what up, man?
But it was still a really good, just really good scenes. Not really like, like I said, it doesn't really miss. There's just like awkward moments like that. Well, yeah, I think everything was great. I hope to see more.
Huh?
I'm excited for it.
That they announced the season 2 yet?
Not yet, but the scripts have already been written.
Oh, okay. That's
The
I heard
screenwriter was like, the scripts are ready to go as soon as like the strike is over and everybody's ready to continue on.
That it broke records, right? It now holds the
It
most
is.
watched.
I believe it had 180 million views at that point in the first
I'm saying the first
first 5 days.
Yeah, I think
it had
I think
180
it
million
broke the
views.
record. I think it broke.
I
I think
think
it
it's
beat
just-
Stranger Things.
I think it's just behind Stranger Things. I don't know if let's see.
Hit it before we end it. We gotta,
Yeah. Oh yeah, One Piece does beat them as of 4 days ago.
Nice. That's
Yeah, it's streamed in 84 different countries. It surpasses the record set by Stranger Things season 4 and the Addams Family adaptation of Wednesday, both of which ranked number 1 in 83 countries. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy that Wednesday's number 2?
Yeah, that's wild to me. It's wild to me.
I loved it, but very
Yeah.
didn't see that one.
Yeah. No, yeah, so like I'm glad it's breaking records. It deserves it. It deserves to break
I'm gonna
those
go
records.
watch an episode before bed.
Yeah, you definitely should.
Speaking of Ben, I think
Yeah.
we got anything else? Anything to close on? I think that's
No, I think we're good. I love
About
the shot right now. We're just gonna
we're just
close on
gonna
the clown,
close on
baby.
the clown.
Buggy.
So yeah, closing thoughts. I
I don't know, man. It's a
I don't
lot
know,
of great
man.
stuff coming out. A lot of great stuff coming out. A lot of great stuff going on. Like, it's a time to be alive.
Tomorrow night, JETS. Jets. Hopefully we don't get blown the fuck out like some other New York team. What's the score now?
I don't know. I don't want to look at
Okay,
it.
it doesn't even want to
Oh
look.
God, it's
You
so
hate it.
bad. It is so
What
bad.
is all this on my shirt I'm seeing? Oh my god. It'll be like he's the dandruff king.
Yeah, don't worry. It's end of the third quarter, 33-0.
It's still 30-0.
Yeah,
I
Cowboys have the ball.
I think on my fantasy team, I got Dallas's defense, baby. I must be getting a lot of fantasy points right now.
You took Dallas's defense.
Yeah,
Oh,
because the team's
savage.
trash.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But we got the Jets on Monday night. We have Osaka.
Ahsoka.
Osaka.
I love you're in the Japanese mode. That's what it is. Tuesday.
Episode 5 on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, the first 2 days gonna be good. Although Monday could be bad if the Jets get killed. If they lose, I'm
Don't
not
worry.
gonna be. But
Don't
if-
worry. You have Aaron Rodgers. What are you worried about?
I know we have fucking Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm talking about? There's nothing to be worried about. Let's go. And then so much. We gotta watch Gamera's Rebirth.
Yes. That's on the on the homework for the week.
This Sunday will definitely. The next episode might honestly be completely dedicated to
Gamera
Gamera
Rebirth. Okay.
Maybe something else here or there. But
No, yeah.
all right, everybody.
Listen, as always, all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming out.
Woo.